Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace to hope for elect. Just gonna be a short lesson. Hopefully, it's edifying, to the point. But I was just thinking, about the scriptures and just musing a little bit. And there's no such thing as a petty scripture or a petty law. And a lot of times you focus on the big ones, the major ones, especially when you're coming in and, things like, don't eat pork and you don't, have sex with another man's woman and things of that nature. But you got scriptures, other scriptures that, other laws or other commandments that can, sometimes it could tend to be kind of forgot about to an extent, like there's this scripture that says, talk not about other men's lives. All right. See if I grab that real quick. Let me see. Sirach 19:8, it says, whether it be to friend or foe, talk not of other men's lives. All right. And it says, and if thou canst without offense, reveal them not, and it's a little bit more than gossip and things like that, because it could be kind of subtle. You could be talking to somebody, you could be talking about another brother to a brother, and you're not talking about them per se, but there may be a matter, or there may be an issue or a situation or a question, and then through continued conversation or further conversation, it can end up being offensive. Now you end up breaking this scripture, And there's this scripture, when you read Ezekiel 13, it says, thou have not gone into the gaps. Now that scripture is speaking about false prophets, but I brought that up to focus on the word gaps. All right. Just to make a quick analogy. Let me see where my other Bible app at. Oh, there you go. Let me see. You have not gone into the gaps. And that said, whether it's friend or foe, into the gaps. All right. Let's see. Parats. All right, the pa, the ra, and the taza. It says breach, gap, bursting force. Breach, broken wall. So let's say you're doing a job, you brick land, and the mortar somewhere is broken. All right, and it's very small. Say you got a whole brick house, and somewhere there's a little gap in one of the bricks. Now from a further view, you can't see it that well. But if that thing don't get tended to, then it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger until the house fall down, As more things happen, as more rain happen, as more erosion happen, it'll get bigger. And that's how Satan gets in. It'd be those certain things in the scriptures that may get looked over. And sometimes it be sometimes it could be ignorant. You didn't even know what you was doing. All right. And other times it can be forsaken. You just like, well, technically, and I ain't, ooh. And next thing you know, you allowing a gap within yourself for more iniquity to come. All right. So you might start off talking, revealing too much information about somebody, unnecessary information. All right. That where in the world, there's certain things in the world, all right, there's certain conversations in the world, and there's certain actions in the world that seems harmless, that seems innocent, all right? Then oftentimes those things can be transferred in the truth, where in the truth it ain't innocent, it ain't harmless, all right? And it's always better to be safer than sorry. All right. It'll be like you hear examples when you're talking to brothers that's been in the truth longer than you, and they tell you about various experiences they had with older men in the truth, elders, apostles, and they would say certain things to the effect of, you might just be having a regular conversation, and they might say something like, Salakia Paz, am I talking too much? Am I doing it? And they'll let them know. Like, no, brother, you okay? That's fine. So it's always better to have that approach than to just assume, all right? Or to be presumptuous. Let me grab a scripture real quick. Let me see, presumptuous. This is 2 Peter 2:10. This is not what I wanted. Matter of fact, I'll read both of them. Psalm 19:13, it says, keep back thy servants also from presumptuous sins. All right, let me see what's the word for presumptuous in that scripture. All right. Presumptuous, zad, arrogant, proud, insolent, presumption, and then it could be borderline leading on to being arrogant. All right. Proud, presumptuous. All right. And I do this lesson based off myself, based off some things I done caught myself doing, that the Spirit said is wrong. Where ain't no, you don't, what's the word? Try to justify yourself with all this technically. I didn't. No, it's in often cases it's best to avoid non-edifying conversations about other people. Period. In most cases. All right, because it's too relatable to offending. All right. He says, let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. All right. Verse 14, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. All right. So you want the words you speak and the thoughts that you have to be righteous. All right. And contrite and broken. All right. Because that's who the Lord will look upon. All right. If you're presumptuous, you ain't contrite and broken. All right. Let me see what was the other one. It was in Peter. Oh, I spelled it wrong. This app, they don't help you or nothing. Like, I ain't got nothing close to it. 2 Peter 2:10. Start at 9. It says, I start at 10. It says, but chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government, presumptuous are they, self-willed, they are not afraid to speak evil of dignities, right? Like the scripture in James speaks about, it says the tongue is a little member, but it's a world of iniquity. All right. The tongue is a small body part, but the damage it can do, the healing it could do. All right. But another thing, ain't nothing escaped. Anything coming out your mouth is heard. All right. Anything. Let me see. This is Wisdom of Solomon 1:6. It says, for wisdom is a loving spirit and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. All right. Or you won't be excused. Like when you go to court, there was an acquittal, basically meaning you don't suffer punishment at the end of the day. All right. It says, for the Most High is witness of his reigns. Your reigns is you, your essence, your mind, your inner thoughts, the inner you that only the true you the flaws and the strengths and everything. The part of you that's not revealed to the world. All right. Even if you show 90% of yourself, 99% of yourself, the part of you that only you and the Most High know. It says, for the Most High is witness of his reigns and a true beholder of his heart. All right. So the Lord know your heart. The Lord know if you do things ignorantly. All right. And it's up to him if he'll pardon you or not. All right. Because the Lord, oftentimes the Lord do pardon ignorance. All right. Like the scripture speaks about that. The scripture says he's weak that our ignorance. Or when you read Paul, it says at one point he was a blasphemer, but he did it ignorantly, and the Lord had mercy on him. All right. It says, and a true beholder of his heart and a hearer of his tongue. For the Spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things have knowledge of the voice. Therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly. And you elites, you having all these councils, you having all these board meetings, all these summits about how you're going to further destroy the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Oh, you thought the Lord ain't going to see? You thought the Lord don't see? All right. He sees all of that. He knows all of that. All right. What is it? I believe it's, they got various $20 terms for, well, if you can't prove it, then it didn't happen. No. All right. You know, certain little things like that. Oh, well, if you ain't see me do it, then you can't. No. The Lord see. It says, and the sound of his word shall come unto the Lord for the manifestation of his wicked deeds. All right. For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurings is not hid. That's why the scriptures tell you not to murmur. All right. It says, therefore beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable. And that's another thing, having conversation. Like I started off with with the lesson. It's kind of segueing, but that's the spirit. But you avoid unprofitable conversations, especially when it's talking about others. All right. Because we all know us, we all know our shortcomings and our failures. All right. That the world ain't seen, or most people ain't seen, and then you hone in and harp on others. Now, the scripture says, remove the mote out of thy eye, and then you'll be able to see the beam to remove out your brother's eye. I mean, move the beam out of your eye, then you'll be able to remove the mote out of your eye. A beam is basically a log, and a mote is a twig. All right, and here it is. People be discussing the twigs in other people's lives, and here it is. They got a whole log in their own. First get yourself together, then you able to help the next man. But you know what? You go to him directly. All right. And if it ain't no brother in the truth, or it ain't nobody, a family member or someone that you might get positive dealings with, where you may can help or not help, or somebody that's irrelevant to your life, you ignore it altogether. You don't even lend your members to the situation, because why? Ultimately, because it's unprofitable. It says, therefore beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting, for there is no word so secret that shall go for naught, and the mouth that belieth slayeth the soul. All right, so with that, Lord willing, that was the edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. Call on him, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodah, Shalom.